Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
I'm Kiki.
Today we're looking at an article called New Orleans Unlike Anywhere Else. Now, New Orleans is a place in the United States, and it's a kind of a popular tourist destination because it is unlike anywhere else. But, there's lots of other places that are also popular to visit in the States. So, Kiki, what's your favorite place to visit in the United States?
Well, recently I've started traveling through Texas.
Okay.
And a lot of people have very different impressions of Texas, but I was able to travel throughout the state from all the way north to down south near the border. And it was very interesting because Texas, we know, is a really big state. But as you're driving throughout the state, you really get to see all the different places and how the different cities and towns, they all have their own unique culture. And it was just really fun to visit. And I really want to explore Texas some more. What about you, Matt?
Well, I remember when I was in elementary school, I went with my family to Florida, and we didn't actually check out any of the local culture because we just went to Disney World, which was great.
That is the local culture.
That's the local culture in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So we went to Orlando, and then we went to Disney World and got to see all of my favorite characters. And then actually after that, we went on a cruise of the Caribbean.
Oh, well, that's fun. Well, today we are talking about New Orleans, and it's somewhere neither of us have been, but we've definitely heard a lot about this place, and there's lots of unique things about it, especially its history and culture and how rich it is in music as well. And we are going to learn more about part 1 of New Orleans Unlike Anywhere Else.
New Orleans is a city in the southern U.S. state of Louisiana. It was founded by the French in 1718 and then given to the Spanish in 1763. Eventually, it became part of the U.S. in 1803. Over the years, the city has developed a unique identity. This is thanks to New Orleans' European heritage, the African cultures brought to the city by slaves, and some Native American influences. This blend makes New Orleans a destination unlike anywhere else in the world. The city's diverse influences are obvious wherever you look. Old Spanish buildings play host to voodoo temples and French-style bars. Also, jazz was invented here by black musicians, and the music can be heard on nearly every street corner.
Hi there. Today we're looking at part 1 of our article, New Orleans Unlike Anywhere Else. All right, so we're going to learn some interesting things about this very interesting city.
Okay, so let's start off with a little bit of history. New Orleans is a city in the southern U.S. state of Louisiana. It was founded by the French in 1718 and then given to the Spanish in 1763. Eventually, it became part of the U.S. in 1803.
All right. Over the years, the city has developed a unique identity. This is thanks to New Orleans' European heritage, the African cultures brought to the city by slaves, and some Native American influences. Okay, so they mentioned the European heritage in there. So the heritage of a thing or a person or a place is the culture and the ideas and the things that were inherited or passed down from previous generations. So when we talk about European heritage, we mean it's usually if you see a city with European heritage, it will have old European style buildings and some European culture that remains.
Right, and you can also see it in the food and the music and sometimes the language as well. Okay, so here we have the word slave. And a slave is basically a person that is believed to be the property of someone else. And usually a slave would be forced to work and obey the person that they belong to. Now, this is a really dark part of a lot of the world's history because there have been a lot of slaves in history. And even in our modern world, there are still instances of slavery. So this is a subject that people should be knowledgeable about, and we should be aware of these things. Now, an example sentence would be, the rich king had many slaves in his palace. Okay, continuing with our article. This blend makes New Orleans a destination unlike anywhere else in the world. So a destination is basically the final place someone or something is going to arrive at, or something that is going to be sent to. So it is the final place of something.
That's right, yeah. And we talk about travel destinations. So they're talking about how New Orleans is a tourist destination or travel destination, a place that you would like to travel to. All right, back to the article. Cities' diverse influences are obvious wherever you look. Okay, so we have diverse influences. Diverse is an adjective, which means, coming from a variety of places, having a lot of different things that are coming together. So having many and many very different things means that something is diverse. So when we're talking about diverse influences, we mean that there are many different influences that have affected this city. An example sentence, Tara has diverse interests, so she is fun to talk to.
Okay, so Tara has a lot of different things that she likes to do. Okay, back to our article. Old Spanish buildings play host to voodoo temples and French-style bars. Also, jazz was invented here by Black musicians, and the music can be heard on nearly every street corner. Now, in New Orleans, voodoo is a huge part of their culture. So what is voodoo?
Well, voodoo is a religion, and it's a religion that is mostly in the Caribbean area, which, of course, New Orleans on the south coast of the United States is part of that region. That's religion combines, Roman Catholic with some African traditions, and it often has elements of like magic, and some might say witchcraft, and also it has people trying to contact spirits and people in the afterlife, or people that have passed away.
Okay, so here in this part of the article, we've definitely learned a little bit about the different cultures that make up this unique place of New Orleans, and we've learned a little bit about its history. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to learn more about New Orleans. We'll be right back.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这一次要介绍旅游地点是纽奥良 （New Orleans），它是美国南部路易斯安那州的一个城市。那么在1718年由法国人建立，在1763年转给西班牙人，最后在1803年成为美国的一部分。那么多年来，这座城市已经发展出独特的特性，因为有欧洲传统，加上奴隶带来的非洲文化，再加上一些美洲原住民的影响，这样的融合使得纽奥良成为独一无二的旅游去处，多元影响随处可见。像古老的西班牙建筑里有巫毒寺庙和法式酒吧。那么课文也提到说，爵士乐是由黑人音乐家在那边创立的。那这种音乐几乎在每个街角都能听得到。好，单字 slave 它表示奴隶，那么在后面加上 ry 变成 slavery， 表示奴隶制度或是奴隶身份。再看到 diverse 或是 diverse， 它是形容多元的、各式各样的或是不同的。那补充单字 voodoo， 它表示巫毒教，是源自于西非的部落信仰，相信着魔法还有神灵，尤其是盛行于海地这个地方。那老师在讲解时，他有提到 witchcraft， witchcraft， witchcraft 它表示巫术或是魔法。那这边有重点，我们要进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是名词加上分词 VING 或 PP， 也就是分词片语修饰名词的用法。 主格关系代名词 who、which 或是 that 所引导的形容词子句，我们可以省略掉关系代名词，再把动词改成分词来修饰现行词。当形容词子句是表示主动或进行时，那我们就是改为现在分词 VING， 被动的话就是用过去分词 PP。举例来说 ，Dana bought a portrait which was painted by a local artist. Dana 买了一幅由当地画家画的肖像。那么句中的 which was painted by a local artist， 这是形容词子句，我们可以把 which was painted 简化成 painted， 那句子就变成 Dana bought a portrait painted by a local artist。 你这时候就可以看到 a portrait 后面就是接了过去分词 painted 来修饰它。第二个重点是 play host to 加上名词，这是表达成为什么的所在地，容纳什么什么。那可以用来指说某地或某建筑为特定动植物或特色的所在地，或者是表达提供空间给什么什么，用来强调这个地方或建筑它的功能与用途。举例来说 ，The park plays host to a beautiful lake。那个公园里有一座美丽的湖泊。好，接回课文中。
The most famous event in New Orleans is Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is a big carnival held annually to mark the start of Lent. The celebration goes on for several weeks and usually ends in February or March. Locals and tourists alike get into the carnival spirit by wearing colorful costumes and masks. They also attend street parades and parties. With such excitement on offer, it's no wonder Mardi Gras attracts millions of visitors from all over the world.
Welcome back. Before the break, we learned a little bit about New Orleans history and how it's made up of all these different cultures, and that's part of why it's so unique. But now we are going to learn more about some of the things that happen in New Orleans.
All right, so let's get into this article. The most famous event in New Orleans is Mardi Gras, and that's something I've definitely heard of, even though I've never been to New Orleans. I think everyone's heard of Mardi Gras, and it's a famous party. Mardi Gras is a big carnival held annually to mark the start of Lent. Okay, so it's a big carnival. So a carnival is usually a public event where there is some dancing and eating, and it's usually held on the streets of a city. Now, often these, carnival events in Caribbean countries or Latin American countries are often held to mark the start of Lent, which is a religious event.
Right. And Mardi Gras in New Orleans is known all over the world, especially carnivals being very colorful, and it's held annually. So a lot of people will get the opportunity to visit this special event and see it. So annually basically means something that happens once every single year. So for sure, as long as somebody organizes it or has the money to organize something, this special event will happen every single year. Okay, an example sentence would be, the band releases a new album annually. So every single year, the band, they will come up with a new CD or a song. Or an album.
An album,
yes. Okay, back to our article. The celebration goes on for several weeks and usually ends in February or March. Locals and tourists alike get into the carnival spirit by wearing colorful costumes and masks. They also attend street parades and parties. Okay, so this carnival, it's not only a one-day thing, it happens for a period of time. And lots of people come to New Orleans just to participate or even just to witness Mardi Gras.
Right, and if it's happening for such a long period of time, it's a lot of opportunity to go visit. So it definitely sounds like a lot of fun and something I'd like to see someday. So people wear colorful costumes to celebrate the event. So a costume is a particular set of clothing that is to to either look like a person, to be for a time period. You could have a particular costume for a country, a national costume, which is the national set of clothing. But in this case, it's just something that is fun to wear to a party. It's a set of clothing that is fun to wear for a party, or maybe makes you look like something or someone that you are not. So an example sentence, what costume will you wear to my party?
Okay, now part of the Mardi Gras carnival, and most carnivals will have a parade. And basically, like Matt, you mentioned, this carnival or the parade, it takes place on the street. And the parade will usually be down a major street or road of this city or place that this event takes place in. So the parade will basically have a lot of people and sometimes cars that follow each other, and they get to show off all the different colors and unique things to people that are visiting and seeing from the side of the road.
Right, so usually they just move slowly along a street and they wave to people on the sides and they show off their outfits or their costumes.
Right, and there's dancing and music. Okay, an example sentence would be, thousands of people gather to watch the parade.
All right, back to the article. With such excitement on offer, it's no wonder Mardi Gras attracts millions of visitors from all over the world.
Well, I know that Mardi Gras definitely sounds like something, Matt, you would be really into.
It really does. You know, it's something that I've heard about almost my entire life.
Yes.
You've heard about this celebration every year, but I still haven't been there yet. And, you know, I think I should start making my plans to get there because, you know, you only have one life, you only have one opportunity. So I'm going to try to get there next time I'm in the United States for sure.
Well, good news is that's the end of today's episode, so you have time to go make your plans, and we will be back tomorrow.
纽奥良最著名的活动是忏悔节 Mardi Gras， 它是一个每年都会举行的大型嘉年华会，用来标志大斋期的开始。那么庆祝活动会持续好几个礼拜，通常在2月或3月结束。那么当地人和游客都会穿戴着色彩缤纷的服装和面具来融入嘉年华会的气氛，也会参加街头游行还有派对，听起来就很热闹很好玩。难怪这个活动每年吸引了世界各地数百万的游客前来共享。好，单字 annually 它是副词，表示每年底，一年一度底。Costume 它是指服装，尤其是指表演穿的服装戏服。Parade 则是指游行的意思。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边要介绍句型 It is no wonder 加上 that 子句，这是表达难怪怎么样，什么什么不足为奇。其中的 no wonder 是表达并不令人惊讶，并不奇怪。那它的 it 是虚主词，用来代替后面的 that 子句。但其实 it is 和 that 都可以省略。那么其中的 no 你还可以用 little 或者是 small 来代替。举例来说 He's humorous, charming, and easygoing.It's no wonder that everyone loves him. 他幽默迷人又随和，难怪大家都喜爱他。那第二句的部分也可以直接说 No wonder everyone loves him. 好，那么以上今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
New Orleans is a city in the southern U.S. state of Louisiana. It was founded by the French in 1718 and then given to the Spanish in 1763. Eventually, it became part of the U.S. in 1803. Over the years, the city has developed a unique identity. This is thanks to New Orleans' European heritage, the African cultures brought to the city by slaves, and some Native American influences.This blend makes New Orleans a destination unlike anywhere else in the world. The city's diverse influences are obvious wherever you look. Old Spanish buildings play host to voodoo temples and French-style bars. Also, jazz was invented here by black musicians, and the music can be heard on nearly every street corner. The most famous event in New Orleans is Mardi Gras.Mardi Gras is a big carnival held annually to mark the start of Lent. The celebration goes on for several weeks and usually ends in February or March. Locals and tourists alike get into the carnival spirit by wearing colorful costumes and masks. They also attend street parades and parties. With such excitement on offer, it's no wonder Mardi Gras attracts millions of visitors from all over the world.
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. Can you shh? You're talking so lewd right now. I just need you to shh. I have a headache.
So lewd. What are you talking about?
Shh. Quiet, please. You're talking way too lewd.
Quiet. Loud. Loud. Looks like we need to work on some pronunciation. Okay, it's time to work on some pronunciation. Can you please read this for me?
She's content with her body.
She is content with her body.
She is content with her body.
Oh, very good. But what about this?
The content of this lesson is boring.
The content of this lesson is boring.
Very
very
good. Okay, what did we learn today?
Let's work on some pronunciations. Today's word is content, but it is also content. So this is an instance when one word actually has two meanings and two pronunciations, even though it's spelled the exact same. So our first sentence is, she is content with her body. You will notice the intonation for content goes up. Content. She is content with her body, which means the word content is an adjective. The second sentence is, the content of this lesson is boring. We have the same word, but it is a different intonation and a different pronunciation. You'll notice it's going like an arc. The content of this lesson is boring, which makes this version of the word a noun, content. That's all we have for today. Kiwi later.